Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, know you'll stand tall. Sit and watch from the sidelines. What too many times.
Hey loves, so welcome back to Bama Gurl Cafe, and today we're going to be making a Southern Pecan Praline cream cheese pound cake. Now let me say that again, Southern Praline Pecan cream cheese pound cake. So what you're going to need to get started in this video, with this recipe, is you're going to need 3 cups of flour, 3 cups of sugar, 3 sticks of butter, 1 teaspoon of almond extract, 1 teaspoon of butter extract, 1 8-ounce pack of cream cheese, and 6 eggs. You're also going to need this right here, because we ain't got time to be flouring no pans. This right here is the best thing ever invented. And you're going to need a bunt pan or 2 loaf pans. Y'all, I'm super excited to be back here today. I can't wait for us to get started in this recipe. So let's go ahead and get set up to get started.
Mwah.
Alright loves, so we are back and we're going to go ahead and get started with this video. So the first thing I like to do is cream together my cream cheese and my butter. And y'all, that's just because the cream cheese has been sitting out. I like to put mine out like the night before. It'll be fine, but I just like to make sure it's really, really soft. So we're going to go ahead and start adding the butter in and the cream cheese. And you want to blend these until they are silky, silky smooth, okay? So let's go ahead and start blending up our cream cheese and butter. See how easily that blended together? That's why you want to make sure your cream cheese and your butter is perfectly soft. You can sit them both out overnight. They will not go bad. I can trust me. Now we're going to go ahead and add in all of that sugar. And you want to blend until this is fluffy. And when I say fluffy, you could be here if you don't have a stand mixer, which I just did not feel like pulling out my stand mixer. You can be here for a minute. So let's go ahead and blend the sugar, the butter, and the cream cheese. And you want it to be fluffy, kind of airy. That's how you know you've mixed it enough. And make sure that you are rotating your bowl when you are mixing. Don't switch directions. Keep going in the same direction. I'm telling you, all of this little stuff that I'm telling you, all these tips are going to make your life so much easier. Now we're going to turn it up a little bit. And you basically want to just, keep mixing until you see that the sugar has basically dissolved. It's already starting to get there. And the reason why my cream cheese, my butter, and my sugar is coming together so beautifully is because everything is at room temperature and super soft. Okay, at this point, since we've got it almost to the right consistency, we're going to go ahead and add in our almond extract and our butter extract. Whew, that smells so, so delicious. I just love the way almond extract smells. It just smells super delicious. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to try and add in 1 egg at a time, maybe 2. And we're going to blend. So when you're doing this part, make sure you're adding at least 1, no more than 2 eggs at a time. And make sure that this blended and incorporated all the way into the cake before you add another one. Alright guys, so we're pretty much basically blended the cake, but I'm going to go around the edges of the bowl. And I'm just going to scrape it down just to make sure that everything is incorporated. And then I'm going to let this blend, I'm going to hand blend it for about another minute. And then we're going to come back and add in the flour. Alright, we're back. So we're going to go ahead and start adding in the flour. And we're going to just add a little bit at a time. And make sure you start off on low because you don't want flour flying everywhere. And remember what I said. Always mix it whatever direction you start. Right, we're going to add a little bit more flour. Now we're going to scrape down the bowl again. And you want to remember when you get to the part where you start adding in the flour, you want to make sure that you're being as efficient as possible because you do not want to mix the cake too long once you start adding in the flour. You want to be getting that part over with. That's why it's very important to make sure that your butter and your cream cheese is soft, your eggs and your sugar is blended together well before you start adding in the flour. Because if you blend this cake for too long, it will somehow, I feel like it makes it dry or tough. So just be aware of that. That's also another reason why I don't recommend using a stand mixer, especially if you have a strong one like a KitchenAid when you're making a pound cake. Because if you beat that cake too long, baby, it will be dry. I'm not trying to throw shade. I love KitchenAid, but sometimes they just beat too hard or people overmix their cakes when they're making them with a KitchenAid stand mixer. Alright, we're going to give this cake one more scrape down in the bowl and blend it for about another 30 seconds and then we're going to be ready. Alright loves, so we're back and we're going to go ahead and we're going to prep our pan for our pound cake. So what I like to do is first start off by shaking it up. Make sure you shake it up good. What I like to do is start by greasing the ring. You want to make sure that you grease the ring really well. 1 second. Alright. And then you want to start working your way around the pan. And you want to make sure you get in every nook and cranny. And you also want to even make sure you spray the edge a little bit because this cake is going to rise. So just make sure. Alright, let's start, putting it in the pan. Just throw it in the bag. Y'all remember that song? Honey, I'm an older millennial, okay? Whew. Look at me, already putting it at the top. You want to turn the pan as you're putting it in. Ooh, child. I'm already messing up. Oh God, I'm fucking up. I'm messing up. All right. We don't need to lose no more batter. Alright guys, so we are back and we got the thing all cleaned up. So basically now I just like to go in and just even it out. Just push it down around the sides. So that one side is not higher than the other. Now what is most important when you are making a cake, especially a pound cake, you need to bounce this cake. You need to beat this cake up in the pan before you put it in the oven. And what I mean is you simply want to just bounce it around. Make sure you get all the air bubbles out of it, because this could be a very big problem if you have air bubbles in your cake. You can get holes in your cake might not rise right, it might be lopsided. So yeah, make sure that you hit it a little bit. You can probably see on the side camera like the little air bubbles popping up. I just had one big one. And I think we are good. But yeah, make sure that you definitely beat that cake up, drop it, bounce it around a little bit, because you don't want any air bubbles in the cake. Now you want to set your oven at 325, and it's going to go from anywhere from an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. Don't open your oven until after an hour. Okay? And don't do no running, because you don't want that cake to fall. Make them children sit down. Into the oven she goes. Alright loves, so we are back and our cake is done. It's out of the oven. It smells so delicious. So now that our cake is done, I'm going to slide that out to the side. And we're going to talk about what you're going to need for the glaze, the icing. So you're going to need 1/4 of a cup of condensed milk, 5 tablespoons of butter, unsalted. I think it's 1.5 cups of brown sugar. I'll link the ingredients. It's a cup of brown sugar, 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, a cup of pecans, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. This is all that you need for the recipe. Now we're going to go ahead and switch over to the stove, and we're going to get it crack-a-lacking, because it's about to go down with this glaze. We have to let the cake cool. The cake's been cooling. So now we're going to go ahead and make the glaze and get set up to glaze it, because it's just gonna be fabulous, like me. Like me. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and add in our heavy cream. I mean, not heavy cream. Our evaporated milk, our brown sugar, and we're going to stir this together. And you want to stay with this. Please do not leave this. You want to make sure that the butter and the sugar and the heavy cream combine. And that the sugar dissolves. And you want it to come up to a boil. You want it to start boiling. If you are using a stainless steel pot, then just make sure that you let your pot heat up before you put anything in it, so that it doesn't scorch and burn or stick. Alright, so the butter is melted. And we're gonna let it come up to a boil. Now that everything is melted, we just want it to start boiling, and once it starts boiling, we're gonna let it boil for a minute. Then we're gonna take it off the heat, or turn the heat off, and then we're going to add in the vanilla and the powdered sugar and the pecans. And as you guys can see, it's already starting to boil. Now, if this section of the video seems long, I'm not going to make any cuts to it because I want you guys to see the entire process so that you don't burn the glaze, the praline. Alright, so now that it's fully boiling, we're going to let it boil for 1 minute, and I'm literally watching the clock. And you don't want to stir it too much because you don't want the sugar to crystallize. I get so nervous when I'm doing this part of the video, or when I'm making this part of a cake, because anything can happen. Anything. I just have to just make sure nothing is sticking at the bottom of the pan. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn the heat off. We're going to go ahead and add in our vanilla. And we're going to grab a metal whisk and go ahead and whisk in the powdered sugar. And you want to just keep whipping it until you get all the clumps out. All the powdered sugar clumps. And you really gotta whip it. That's why you kind of want to leave the pot on the stove. You just want to turn the heat off, but you want to leave it here, but just turn the heat off because it's gonna help that powdered sugar dissolve. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and add in the pecans. And we're going to just give it a mix. Now if you want to, you can roast your pecans, but I don't really feel like they need to be roasted. But you can if you want to, because they're going to cook a little bit in this caramel. Alright. So that part's done. Let's go ahead and set up to ice the cake. Hey loves, okay, so we're back and we're gonna go ahead and put our pound cake on the cake plate. It's so beautiful, y'all. Oh, I'm so excited. So when you get through making your praline mixture, sometimes it can get a little too thick, and if that happens, just go ahead and add in a little bit more milk like I'm doing to thin it out to the consistency that you like it. But do it when it's still warm. You don't want to do it when it's cooled down. And I'll show you guys here on camera exactly what I'm talking about. You want it to be loose. That's still a little too thick for me, so I'm gonna add in a little bit more of the condensed milk. So keep your milk on standby. Ooh, this is thick, baby. But you want it to have a little bit of thickness about it. You don't want it to be too thin because it is a praline. Alright, let's go ahead and start, putting it on the cake. Ooh, child, I need a spatula. And you want it to be thick, but you don't want it to be too thick because it is for you guys here on camera exactly what I'm talking about. Look, y'all, you want it to be loose. Anything can be very sticky. That's still a little too thick for me, so I'm gonna add in a little bit more. Like sometimes you might have to go back and add a little bit of milk to it. And that's okay. Just do a little bit at a time. Don't do too much. All right. That's the consistency I want. You want it to be where it'll at least run down the side of the cake. Get a little piece right there on that side where, Woo, child, this is gonna be so delicious. My dream is to really open a bakery, but kind of like nothing but buns, but I don't know, I like nothing but buns, but I just feel like it's a box or something like they have, and that's okay, like if they have a special mix, but they're local, they're like a chain, so they have to do things that are to have their recipes the same all over. So they have to, have mastered recipes, which every bakery should, but just in a way to where the product is the same no matter where you get it from. And that's understandable. Let me get those pieces that kind of fell to the side. Ooh, this is gonna be so delicious. I just know it. You just know sometimes. I don't even want to cut it. To me, it just looks so pretty. Oh, jeez. I don't want to cut this cake. Let me stop messing with it. Alright, guys. So, that is our praline pecan cake. I'm super excited for this cake, y'all. I'm going to take a couple pictures of it and get a couple of thumbnails. And, we're going to make it do what it do. But yes, I'm super, oh my God, I'm so in love with this cake, y'all. This is, ooh, let me get it all cleaned up and then we're going to come back. Alright, loves, so we are back. And let's go ahead and cut a slice of this cake. Y'all, the last video I did was a peach pound cake before I left again, and that cake was so good, but I just know that this one is going to be even better. Make sure your knife is sharp because you got to cut through that praline. And baby, ooh, ooh, baby, baby, making love between the sheets. This is gonna be better than that. I just know it. I'm sorry, y'all, but this cake is fire. This cake with this icing is fire. You might have to, at the end, add a little bit more of condensed milk to get it to run a little bit better. The cake is so soft and moist. And the praline just sets it off. Oh yeah, you know, I'll get down with the get down. This don't make no sense. Honey, this is delicious. So I let my cake bake for 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's why I said set it at 1 hour and 10 and check it. Because you might need to go to 1 hour and 15. You might need to go for 1 hour and 30. Don't go past 1 hour and 30. Set your cake at 325. That praline on this cake, baby, I can sell this. I know I can sell this for $5 a slice. And we got another hit. Okay, y'all. Let me go ahead and wrap this video up. You guys know I love you. I'm so happy to be back here on YouTube. Yes, it has been a struggle to get back, but I'm back and I'm happy. And I hope you guys are enjoying the videos and the lives. We have a live coming up really, really soon. But I just want to say thank you guys for all of the support. Please don't forget to like, share this video, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, because our goal before the end of January is to get to 20,000 subscribers. That is the goal, to get to 20,000, and I know we can do it. So, with that being said, remember to treat people the way you want to be treated. Food is love. I love you all, and have a good evening, day, night, morning, whenever you see this video. And treat people the way you want to be treated. That is the most important thing that you can take away from today. Switches. I'm finished eating my cake. You know, some homemade vanilla ice cream too with this. Delectable.